One sober to another here. To stop the spread of disease, wouldn't you wear the mask? So why, if you're an alcoholic, why do you think you can control your disease without doing what you need to do in order to keep sober or to get sober? Instead, you make excuses and you might as well not wear a mask. Well, now that we got that out of the way. So my buddy told me today again, and this is about the same guy that had to be taxied from Germany to the UK in order to get treatment. I'm not judging the guy whatsoever, but still trying to control his drinking by switching it to wine like we talked about before and minimizing the fact that he's still drinking and is not an alcoholic because he's got it under control. I had a whole lot of shit under control in my drinking history, like the negative amount in my bank. I had the consequence to not getting promoted under control. I also enjoyed the fact that my son decided not to be a part of my life for a year because my alcoholism was just that great. I had under control that my wife left and she decided to shack up with some other dude. That was aces. So how much did I really have under control? Because I decided to change up my habit a little bit. Instead of having 18 beers a night, I dimmed it down to 17. I'm doing pretty damn good, aren't I? No. I have to do what I had to do in order to get sober without excuses. It's the same thing this guy has to do. Now, I'm not here to preach because I'm not a counselor and I'm not a rehab technician. I'm not a daggone social worker. I'm not even a doctor. But I'm sober. And the way I got sober is to make the same sacrifices I did in order to drink in order to stay sober. I get on this soapbox a lot, and that's because it's so easy for an alcoholic to make excuses, and it's so easy to change up the way that our brain thinks about alcohol to make it acceptable. If your life is jacked up and you've been to rehab 5 times and you've detoxed 5 times and you failed 5 times, perhaps you're doing it wrong. I think, in my opinion, it's best to listen to somebody who's sober. Weird. So here's what I'm saying. If you put as much energy in to getting sober as you do to getting drunk, you're probably going to get sober. And the way to do that is not by following other people who drink. And it's not by trying to change the way you drink to make it better. Some of us had tried to find an easier, softer way, but we could not. It's there. It's in the big book. If you're not an AAer, that's awesome, but the principle still applies. A little bit passionate about this because I had to do a lot of sacrificing to get my life back in order. The shit's not easy. If it was easy, everybody who has a problem with alcohol or drugs would be sober and have a great life and everything would be perfect, right? Well, that's not the case because right now during the COVID crisis, which is still rampant everywhere, people are finding more and more excuses to drink. I can't find work. My money's not coming in the way it used to, which is totally ironic because if you don't have the money you used to, how the hell do you have the money to drink? As an alcoholic, I used to find a whole lot of ways to keep that refrigerator full of my beer. And if I couldn't, I hustled the hell out of it so that I could have it. Having 18 beers a night is not easy. But I made it happen regardless of how much money I didn't have in my bank account. So how is it that we can keep justifying the use? Do you justify it to you're not sick? Do you justify it to you don't have a problem? Or do you justify it to it's not that bad yet? Well, how bad does it have to get? Really? For you, how bad does it have to get before you decide to get help? Look to the left and right because those are the people who are going to fail. You have the opportunity to be sober if you want to. One sober to another, that's about the slice of it. And if you just pay attention to a couple words in the videos that I've had in the past, I relapsed. I stopped drinking. Now what? I'm not just an alcoholic. Holy shit, I fucked my life up. I might as well leave with that one, because that's coming soon. We are here for you. And there are links below if you decide that you want to get some help. Only you can make a change for yourself. Only I can make a change for myself. I had to lose everything in order to get it all back. Thankfully, I didn't die, because that would truly suck. That's the end of this. I hope you have a good day. For now, one sober to another, and I'll see you in the next one.